What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here, and here we are. We got another update on Yumeko novel number 3. We had the first one previously a while ago. And now we are on the second one. Now let me just double check my YouTube channel there. Kind of keep a little track of it there. I, re- I reckon it was about a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, matter of fact, according to the updates there, it was about 6 days ago. And then 3 days ago, we had the final reading of Yumeko novel number 1. And as of today, since I'm recording this video, which is a Tuesday, June the 11th, which will probably be much later by the time y'all get to see this and everything, Patreon and YouTube. As of today, I'm about to be uploading my history with Garfield from to YouTube publicly. That's already up on the Patreon, of course. So, which of course y'all probably be seeing that by the time. Anyway, y'all get the okay. Anyway, I've been watching. I was previously watching Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and heard all those different voices like this one I reckon there. And what you believe, I have a special ability. Jesse, I'll be back. God, save me, Jesse. Yeah. I actually like those different voices though. Anyway, okay, so getting to the video. So yeah, it's our second official update already. Make sure you definitely like, share, and subscribe. Definitely give super thanks and everything. And get some of our available books, which Star Striker, Bubblina, and also as of course Yumeko itself, the first novel. The oh hello. Don't know if y'all heard that. It was a little bird tweeting out, tweeting outside. Little Tweety bird outside. So anyway, definitely available books, which include Yumeko number 1, the second Yumeko novel. I have should be about a couple more weeks toward the between couple more weeks right to kind of the end of this month and the beginning of July. Should be getting that back in order to have it edited. All the proofs should be done by then, and have to edit them in. So by the end of July, I can release the second Yumeko number 2, and like I say, won't be too long after Yumeko 3 will be going up a bit. Cause like I say, according to this update, I'm pretty well along in number 3 already. While waiting on the proofs of number 2. Also, definitely be sure to support us on that Patreon, just like your boy EJ the Supreme. Let's do it in the morphin style. EJ Supreme. We are Supreme Ranger. EJ. Yeah. So like in the Super Sentai there, and been watching Zoo Ranger. Y'all definitely should check that out there. That's how we got Mighty Morphin, because of Zoo Ranger, Dino Buckler. Dino Ranger. Geki. Dino Ranger. Gosh. Oh wait, Dan. Mami Fedja. Bush. Saber Ranger. Dan. Calendar. Me. So because of them, we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers. Yeah, so 2 things to enjoy: Power Rangers and Zoo Ranger. As well as also all of our other Power Ranger seasons alongside their Super Sentai counterparts. So Yep, the best of both worlds, the way I look at it. But yeah, definitely support us on that Patreon, just like EJ the Supreme. Also, definitely check out his channel along with my big sis Casey's channel. On say all links in the description and below. As well as also, I think that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's the yeah each day as well as also Casey. So oh and one oh yeah that's right. Yeah, like I mentioned about ordering the books. Yeah, we have recently. If you missed it before, we did get other copies of Yumeko #1. We did get some more copies on hand. So yeah, definitely. So like I say, if you start placing your orders now, yeah, there's a chance you'll be able to get one of the on hand copies. But also be advised that there's gonna be some people here locally that's gonna be getting some of these copies too. So just letting you know. So yeah, but but don't worry if you put in your order and just say like well I'm sold out of my own hand copies. Don't panic. Still put your order in. We'll get you taken care. We'll still get you taken care of. Just probably have to wait a little bit, but we'll get you taken care of there. I have no problem, order some more copies to take care of you there. So, so yeah, that and also I need to be announcing this in all my videos. Like, y'all forgive me. Sometimes I do forget. But yeah, just we for those of y'all that's here locally or anywhere near the Shreveport area, maybe you're not in Shreveport but you're nearby, or maybe not too far from Shreveport. Uh, we do. There is a copy of Yumeko 1 in one of our libraries, which is the David Rains branch. You go over there. It's not too far from Southern University. Definitely check it out. However, maybe well, Gabe, I'm kind of a little distance away from that area. There, do I have to drive all the way out there? No, you do not. Any library in the Shreveport area, and I think I want to now. No, I'm just saying. I think you may can also in Bossier area may can work too. Um, it may can work. I'm not completely sure. Uh, but you can ask them to find out. But if not, any area in the Shreveport, any Shreveport library, if you can't get in the, cause the reason I say Bossier because it's kind of nearby, and like I say, I'm not completely sure about how far away from Shreveport you can go to do this there, as far as the memorial, or if you can even do that. But I do know for a fact, yeah, any Street Memorial Library, you can definitely, like, well, if it's not the David Rains branch, like just say you go into the Atkins branch, or the one that I live nearby, Moortown branch, or Pines Road, any library that you're close to, you can definitely like, well, hey, I want to check out this Yumeko book by King Gabe. I've been hearing about it on YouTube to see what it's like, and they can put in the request for it to get it from the David Rains brand and bring it just for you. So, and the more of you that, and like I say, it's one copy, but the more of you that do that, like y'all want to, get a little rental just to check it out before you buy it, check it out, and then like, okay, yeah, I do want a copy. The more of you that put in requests for that rental there at the library, um, at some point, the more that they keep getting from you guys, they will have to order more in order to take care of you guys for checking it out there. So, yeah, that's kind of how it works. That's what I've heard when I first submitted, filled out the submission form for them to get it. They only had ordered one copy for one library, but that's what the guy that was over the submissions for Street Memorial Library, he told me that's how it works up there. So yeah, definitely. So definitely do that. Yeah, get more of them books into that library, so that way even more and more people can check it out. Like I say, because I understand. There's a lot of time I want to just check something out before I buy it to make sure, just to see what all is in it when it comes like books or even sometimes movies and stuff like that. I'm the same way with some of them depending on what it is. So definitely can understand somebody just wanting to take a peek before they buy the product, or like sampling, sort of like free samples in the grocery store. You know, when they be set up free samples. So hey, nothing wrong with that. Test out your product before you get it there. Just like Best Buy and even the car dealerships. Yeah, you wanna see what you get. You wanna make sure what you getting is good. So definitely do that. So now let's get on into and of course these videos that I be making is even more of a way to check out what you to check this out before you buy, because I get up here, all these videos like updates of upcoming books, the audio readings, and just talking about them in general. Yeah, oh yeah, you definitely getting you definitely seeing what's in what you about to get. So yeah, pretty much like a car dealership. Yeah, when you go up there and they ask you and they say, well, well, okay, you go and test drive that there. That way you know how that car handle. So yeah, let's see how this upcoming novel number 3 gonna handle a little more. Y'all get behind the wheel. We finna test drive another update of the. Say they got up to 5 chapters so far. So we about to get a major test drive right here. Yeehaw! Wish I had a cowboy hat right now. I reckon, I said, no, hey, you guys, look at me when I'm talking to your son. Boy, mine is sharp as a bowling ball. Ooh, okay, anywho, let's see, bring it. Well, let me search in mail. Yeah, make it easier to search, so I won't be scrolling. All right, here we are. See how that kind of. Okay. All right, let's get to the beginning. Yumeko book number 3, or novel 3. Yep. So I might need to make sure I'm yeah, I might need to correct that there. Okay, I got novel. Yeah, novel number 1 here. So yeah, I think I might need to correct that one. But I got time on that one. So yeah. Yeah, like it's. Oh, never mind. Book. Okay, novel number 1. They got book number 1 in here. I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess. Sometimes I gotta double check myself sometime on these before I put them out. That's the whole point of proofing your work, everybody. You become a writer and you start writing your book. Make sure you proof your stuff, and also, like I say, it's important for you yourself to proof it. Yeah, that is important. Like I proof my own stuff too, but is the say now that's important, but it's also important that you have somebody that you really know well to also proof it behind you. So somebody that you know really well, maybe because they got because there are some people that professional editors and stuff like that, that for a certain fee they will do that. You look them up and everything, see which one you want to get. But maybe you're starting out. Maybe you might might can't really afford that right yet. Maybe you're just starting out and all that, or maybe you just want, or maybe you prefer to just get somebody personally that which that's okay too. So yeah, that's what I say. Make sure you get somebody you really know and trust well. If you want to go that route, that will look behind you and actually proof the books. Because one thing about it, you proofing your own stuff, yeah, you making sure, like, okay, I want the story to say this, I want it to say that. But the person proofing behind you, now, they're not so much, now they might add some suggestions, like, well, maybe, I think you should write it like that, for you to think over, maybe you might want to take their suggestions or something like that. But a lot of them, but more so than the suggestions, they can see what you write as it is. Cause you ever wrote, sometimes you be writing stuff and it's coming out your head, but you might end up having something misspelled or forgot a word or something like that. And see, the person reading behind you, they're not in your head. Their eyes see it as it is on that paper. Sort of like what I mentioned about when I was talking about how I called two of my cats Lan Diego, but I had it spelled the way I had it spelled. You would look at it and be like, "That's Landago, not Lan Diego." So, yeah, people that's not in your head gonna see it as it is on that paper. They gonna tell it like it is. So that's the important. So yeah, like I say, you proof, but don't. But yeah, make sure you got somebody else looking at it too, cause you need both. So yeah, don't neglect either one. So very important. I learned that the hard way with my when I first got into writing my comic books. Yeah. So let's go on into this here. Little life lesson there. So as for the first thing, so Supreme Star Striker, of course, is the title. Um, Little recap, yeah. So a lot. The first chapter pretty much referenced a lot of the first Star Striker comic book where he faced three crooks, House, Monty, and Guy downtown. Um, in my first update video, I stated how there was a lot of how in the comic book version there was some little errors like how in the world these crooks just out here unarmed talking about their big score and how is it that the police ain't caught up to them? Where are the cops? So for this one, yeah, it was this. Yeah, kind of handled that plot hole a little bit by saying, well, they found a way in. Their boss actually just sort of picked the lock already, and then they came there, dressed like regular bank employees. So to the public, now, obviously, not too many people would be out at night, especially back in the time period this story takes place in. Even in the day's time, a lot of people wouldn't just be out the same way they would in the daytime. But I mean, you would still have some people, some passerbyers, even people walking and stuff. And to them, yeah, they would, like, oh, some bank employees going into the bank. Okay, whatever. So yeah, they're not forcing and breaking and entering or anything. They just walk right in the door. Got the key and everything. So obviously, yeah, they feel like, yeah, we don't really need to be armed or anything because, yeah, nobody's gonna suspect a thing. All right. So that kind of explains that there. And of course, Star Striker shows up there and does this little monologue on the rooftop. Comes down there and how Star Striker's getting around, like from the rooftop and then down to where they're at, and then even just downtown in general, because he is getting help from Flora, the fairy from book 1 and 2 of Yumeko. Is kind of helping him out and everything. He, of course, gets to jump on them there, those shurikens and bow staff and everything. Flora, like I mentioned before, kind of helped out with some little antics of her own, and they managed to stop the trio. Of course, once once they get the crooks tied up and everything, and of course, Star Striker goes back to the house, with Flora's help. What they don't realize is another car comes up, which is the boss. And we're just gonna say it now because it has been revealed. The boss, of course, is AJ the Master Shot. So yeah, that's who the boss is gonna be because originally, their boss in the Star Trek comic books was a guy called Big Benny. As I showed in the last video, I sort of had him looking sort of like Samuel Jackson, the way he looked in that Pulp Fiction movie, but I made his hair red there. And of course, when the book was reviewed, first thing on Bob Shaw was like, "Get yourself in here with the Three Stooges looking selves," because he was thinking in his mind he was thinking of Bob Ross because of the hair color there. So that was that. Then then of course and of course he does say that line. Say, get your butts in this car with this instant with your Three Stooges looking selves. They get in there. They tell him. Oh yeah. Oh wait, AJ. Sorry, wrong one. They say, get your butts in here. Get your butts in this car this instant with your Three Stooges looking selves. Talk to me, house. We had the money, but the kid dressed like a superhero ruined it for us. So let me get this straight. Hey, you three lost the money to a baby? Well, technically speaking, a baby wouldn't be able to fight like that way that kid did. Shut up! Oh, like one of my uncles at Christmas when he was trying to tell. He was trying to say something. He was trying to tell a story to everybody, and everybody kept talking over. Hey, y'all, listen, was like, oh, okay, so we gonna be at your house today? Nah, yeah, listen. And just so happened I show up. Just so happened that I came in, into the crowd. All of a sudden, he was getting really, he was trying to get that story out. And I said, hey, uncle, shut up! Everybody like, ooh. It gets kind of wacky at my family get-togethers there. Trust me, they just had a birthday party, and we was getting really, we was really clowning around at the birthday party. Yeah, I guess that cake and ice cream was really sweet there. a lot of sugar got us hyped up there, like SpongeBob in his movie when he had all that ice cream. Hey, waiter! I'm over getting that around over here. Waiter! Hey, everybody! It's me and Patrick and this Big Peanut guy. And we got a little song I gotta sing called Woo! So, it is. Oh boy, hang on a second. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy, I'm talking there. Okay. Anyhow, so he's like, shut up! Don't ever correct me when I'm talking, you pathetic idiots! We're sorry for correcting you. We'll never do it again. No, never do it again. Oh, okay, Squall Baboon from Power Rangers. Shut up! I have a headache. And it's all your fault. I didn't do anything. What did you do? I didn't do anything. The boss. So after that, of course, there's that moment between Star Striker, aka Samuel, and Flora. Talk about how great of a team they are. Samuel's like was kind of like Food Cat and Food Bear, more like a female version of Food Bear in your case. Flora's like, I think we're more like a Peter Pan and Tinkerbell duo. Then she gets a little upset, like, definitely better than that little Miss Wendy. I never got why he liked her over Tinkerbell. And so it's like, well, Flora, that's just a story. Calm down. It's like, yes, but that story was real at one point, implying that the Peter Pan story might have existed at some point there. I mean, we got Flora who is a fairy here. I mean, okay, she's not Tinkerbell, but she is a fairy. So, a little, as they say, little something for you theorists there. Or you Easter egg hunters. When y'all be, some of y'all pretty sure it's one of y'all probably watching this video. Y'all be looking at the upcoming movies and stuff like, Okay, everybody, I got the breakdown of this movie trailer. So, if we look closely in here, you can see this clue right here. I think that there's going to be a part in the movie where this is going to happen. So, yeah, again, little some little say little hint dropper for you guys to chatter about amongst your theorist groups. Get to talking, and definitely which the more it gets talked about, yeah, you definitely want to get a book there in order to see if your theories are right. That's that little word of mouth, yeah. So yeah, no, it is there's a fairy. Get to theorize it. Ooh, excuse me. you know, Miss, you know, Miss, Miss Purdy. It comes the time of the man's life where it comes the time of the man's life where always want to rush into things. So a name professor reference there. So anyway, but yeah, so first thing Flora's like, well, you wouldn't banish me like Tinkerbell, would you? Like, of course not. I never banish someone as cute as you. You promise? So, I promise, Flora. So anyway, so yeah, then Samuel announces that his superhero name is going to be the Star Striker, or should I say, the Supreme Star Striker, the Shreveport defender that strikes like a star. Yep, and of course I mentioned in the last video that the whole ideal of, especially the book title being the Supreme Star Striker, is a reference callback to like how you have like the Incredible Hulk, the Mighty Thor, the Invincible Iron Man, and of course the Amazing Spider-Man. My name is the Human Spider. I don't care. Get out there. No, you got my name wrong. Get out there. So yeah, the amazing, and then of course, in some cases, spectacular, spectacular Spider-Man, spectacular, spectacular Spider-Man. Or, or in my case, one of my trailers that I made from one of my coworkers, Andre. Spectacular comedical Spider Dre, spectacular comedical Spider Dre. Sort of a parody of the Spectacular Spider-Man, but in a friendly, light-hearted way, though. Not to disrespect Spider-Man, though. Obviously, yeah, little sort of like Darkwing Duck level parody, kind of. the But anyway, so then of course, second chapter, we introduced to Brian Valentino Robinson, with is hanging out with Samuel and Hiko. Seems like they're all he's already been hanging out with them. So we didn't see him in the first two books, but yeah, so he just say he probably wasn't able to come to Yumeko with Samuel and Hiko that day. So, but he's here now. Three of them meet up with Brownie, Mr. Fluffles, and all the other anthropomorphic animals, as well as also Tim, Julie, Melina, Julius, Floral, and all of them. Anna is introduced as wanting to become a firefighter to join the group. So she's part of Brownie's little group now at the firehouse there. The mayor's daughter, Anna. And I think I think it was like this in my first update. I'm not completely sure, but at one point it was just them kind of hanging around eating some snacks at first, but instead I made it where they're all eating breakfast there, and Brownie and Mr. Fluffles are present with them. Because at first it was going to be Brownie and Mr. Fluffles were out getting the bus that they needed to tour around around Barnhart City. But then I figured now they need to already have that there, so that way they can all be ready to go right after eating breakfast, of course. So I even added them in saying grace. You better bless that food. Yeah. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed all of us gathered that trust in Him. We thank you for this meal we're about to receive. Let it be a nutritious blessing for our bodies. In Jesus' name, amen. Yep. And that old taste and see that the Lord is good actually does come from Psalms, which, let's say, make that way y'all can know where to find it there. Say, my Bible readers out there. Let's see. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. There. Psalms 34. Yep, it's Psalms 34. Let's see what the verse 8. Yes, Psalms 34, verse 8. Take, oh, taste and see. Yeah. We used back in at the elementary school I went to for kindergarten and first grade it was a private Methodist school, center free, and that's what we would say before we got ready to eat. When we said grace, we said that scripture right there. That was our official grace before eating our meals at school, and then so yeah, that's where that kind of references a little bit. That's where it comes from. Then of course Brownie announces about Anna being a firefighter. I misspelled the word everyone here. I need to correct that. No, really, I just spotted a spelling error there. But it is a rough draft, so it will be taken care of. Um, so yeah, then of course he talk a little bit about Samuel becoming Star Striker and what and some of the and they sort of mentioned about what happened in the previous two books. Um, Samuel starts going. Of course, Flora's like, and I'm his adorable partner. Her saying that she's his adorable partner. Yeah, that's definitely another reference to Descendants CJ from the Browning reaction, not the because of course CJ originally in the original Descendants franchise was only in the Wicca World series. She was never in any of the live action Descendants movies. She was in the little animated Wicca World. But in Brownie Reactions, that version of CJ, which kind of like a PG-13, sort of like a female PG-13 teen version of Deadpool, kind of a little bit, because of the fourth wall, well, mostly for the fourth wall breaking, was there was a scene where she was upset about her brother Harry Hook and about Harry Hook having Brownie to to babysit her and the lost boy. And she's like, I don't need a babysitter. Like, and I think there was a mention about he wanted to keep her protected. His um the they something kind of led to where she said, all right, I'm like your baby, but I'm not just like a baby. I'm adorable. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, talk more about Star Striker. He wants to. Samuel is wondering about whether he should just continue with like gadgets like his shurikens and stuff like that, or actually have superpowers. And he goes to just one Gerald's like, well, why don't you just have both? A little bit of both there, which I mentioned about how in Static Shock he sort of had that going on. Like I say, now his friend Richie, aka Gear, had more of the gadgets, where Static was mostly using his electrical powers and stuff. But there were times before Richie became Gear where Static did sort of have some little gizmos he would sometimes have to use, like the zap caps there. Yeah, so there was that. So there is an advantage to having Moving. I didn't mention this, but Spider-Man kind of has a cross between I guess you could possibly say gadgets and his powers, because mainly his powers are sticking to the walls and his spider sense, and also the strength that he has, like a super spider and all that. The gadget part of him comes from the web shooters that he be like shooting at his web, and in the 1990 series, he had like them these little tracers similar to what Static has, little spider tracers and everything. Um, but his web cartridges were pretty much like his gadget. Pretty much the that to him was like utility belt to Batman kind of thing. Um, Now, of course, in the Sam Raimi movies, he was able to just shoot the web straight out of his hands. So didn't really do much in the way of gadgets in those movies. Not saying it was bad. I mean, I did actually like the Sam Raimi movies. Thought it was pretty cool that he was able to do that. Uh, but yeah, just definitely pointing out how the ones that have used the web card, because that's the only time that we saw Spider-Man with natural webs where he didn't build web shooters. That was the only one, was the Sam Raimi film. But everybody else, did web shooters, and that was obviously what a lot of us grew up with. I think that was even a thing in the comics where he made web shooters. Yeah, so yeah, but it was good to have something kind of new in the mix, though. Nothing wrong with kind of having a little spice up. Sort of like what they're doing with Transformers One, possibly, or the Garfield movie. So anyway, uh, so yeah, they mentioned about, well, what kind of powers would he have? Uh, and Hiko mentioned like, well, maybe solar power is like Ultra Cat, but slightly different. The solar power thing is actually a reference to when I first came up with Star Striker back in the 2004 series. Back in 2004, his the only power Star Striker had was shooting solar beams and being able to fly, and that was just it. Um, so yeah, here it's become more advanced with Star Striker's powers, due to the fact of his name being Star Striker. As Samuel mentions, he could, since he strikes like a star, he could have star powers like super speed and with super speed and flight. Melina asks, well, how does the star powers work? And it's explained by Brian that you emit exploding bursts of hydrogen and helium together like an actual star in the solar system, and that would also generate the source of his speed and flight. So, yeah, he'd be able to shoot out some star. Pretty much that's how he would shoot his star blast and stuff like that that he's about to get. So he is about to get that, um, and moving fast like a shooting star. Star Striker could also even now, of course, this wasn't mentioned in the book, but this is something that I that kind of came to that I kind of just noticed because of the powers that he's been given. He could, since he generates his powers from the stars themselves. The sun is a big star. So just imagine if Star Striker was in the DC universe, he could generate power from the red sun and possibly defeat Superman. Hmm. Yeah, little kid could possibly take him down there. Possibly have even a better chance than Shazam did, or Captain Marvel, as they called him at one point, but now it's Shazam. uh, yeah, but however, the power of the stars is a very risky one, due to how hot stars can get, and he could possibly end up creating a solar flare or wind just like the sun itself. So, yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah, because he could end up, and like they mentioned, a solar flare. So yeah, technically his powers, are sort say kind of similar to Hot Streak from Static Shock, where he'd be able to shoot them fireballs and stuff there. So yeah, you gotta be careful with that kind of power, or Wheeler from Captain Planet with the firepower. Like, Wheeler, don't say fire unless you mean it. So Julie mentions that with having powers, yeah, you probably would want to you know say help get some training to learn how to focus those powers. Uh, and Samuel's like, well, yeah, I guess that could be a good idea. I could learn some cool moves and stuff. Uh, but here's something I added to this chapter. Dashdale interrupts. It's like, well, that's fine and dandy, but say, I be the one to train you as the Squirrel Avenger. I take it, and this is a kind of a reference to Darkwing Duck. There, how Darkwing Duck was full of himself, and his whole premise of his show was he was parroting the superhero genre, and as I found out recently, he was also parroting. I think they called some kind of genre from like way back in the day that he was parroting. So he was. I think heroes. They say heroes like Green Hornet and stuff like that. So yeah, wow, it's quite a bit there. Uh, yeah, much like Darkwing Duck, Squirrel Avenger is a TV show that a lot of them enjoyed back in high school, which of course uh, was back in say because this actually takes place the first book. This actually starts in the year 1990 to 1995 because of course Hiko and Samuel are 7. That's the same age I was in 1995. So Brownie is of course 21. So yeah, 5 years. So yeah, 5 years ago, back in high school at 16, of course, or possibly a little younger, back in '88 maybe. But but we know Darkwing Duck originally came out in 1990, due to this as a result of a spinoff from the success of DuckTales. Yeah, uh, so with that, yeah, they mentioned about how they there's a brief little moment they mentioned about eating chicken nuggets while watching the Squirrel Avenger on TV, like I did whenever I watched Static Shock. Oh, especially with that barbecue dip sauce. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. But say, and they even mentioned the Squirrel Avenger's civilian name, Merrick Verman. And the actor who played him is Jake Rollins there. so, um, and they said the closest that Dashdale ever got to meeting this guy was at a Christmas parade. Cause sometimes they do have stuff like that in Christmas parades. And he said he tried to sneak past the rope to get in. Dashdale was dressed up like the Squirrel Avenger. He tried to talk with Ultra Cat, but the security guards got him back behind the rope when he shouted out to him. Sort of like what happened to me before Bernie Mac, God rest his soul, before he passed away, and he did that movie Soul Man, when they were shooting a scene of it down here, and I tried to get to where he was at when nobody was looking. Said, "Hey, Mister Mac! Hey! Get back over here! Get back over here!" So, kind of a reference to that there. so, yeah, of course, yeah, like I said, they mentioned, yeah, he would definitely need some training. Julie suggests that Hiko should also have some training as well. She said, I know you did a great job fighting against Skeleton, but there's always room to advance." This right here really kind of highlights Julie's personality here. Is because this actually is kind of a reference to how Casey is in real life. Actually, like I mentioned, I call her my big sis. That yeah, she is a protective type in real life. There, especially back when we were growing up in school. There, say school, like the incident when I was stuck on the bleachers, and yeah, I would say I was kind of freaked out about getting, like, I was forced to go up the way to the top. Bell rang, everybody goes to class, and I looked down and I'm like, oh my god, almost like a cat in the tree. So she risked being late to class to help me down there. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, like I say, that's the protective side of Casey there. So pretty much almost like Seto Kaiba looking out for his little brother Mokuba. Don't worry, little brother, I'm coming for you. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of how that's. I know she's only a year older than me, but yeah, it kind of feels that way, just like an older sibling looking out for their younger sibling, kinda. So then there's a brief moment where he go sort of spaces out a little bit, like yes, I mean Julie, thinking about your little princess Naomi. Probably wondering if she'll kiss him again. so like how they were, so like how the Rangers was sort of messing with Zack about Angela in Power Rangers. Like, ooh, ooh la la, Zack baby. I was like, Trini, whoa. Okay, Trini. It's like, yeah, Trini pulled out that sass card there. So yeah, and there's a reason, and there's actually going to be a pretty good reason for that mentioning of Naomi briefly. Like I said, she's not present at this moment, but there is. But hey, but we're getting to it. So of course there's they all get ready to go on their tour of Barnhard City. I mean, yep, they show about different areas and stuff like that. As they tour around Barnhard, they notice a lot of the areas look identical to Shreveport, Louisiana. And then, of course, they have a little lunch at the Burger Port and play in the park until it's time for until it's time for Hiko, Samuel, and Brian to go home. Uh, they mention about a special event that they got coming up. We're gonna find out, of course. Um, everyone, Hiko actually uses his Destiny watch to transport everybody back. Now, I actually went back and made another edit to novel number 2 at the very end, where Hiko mentions that that's what he would call the watch that he got from his grandpa. So he actually makes a mention of it so it will be at the end of novel number 2, him making a mention of it. So that way, you read it in here where he say he uses the Destiny watch to get back home. It won't be like, well, wait, what's the Destiny watch? Yep. So it's the same one he used to that has. Well, you'll find out there. You'll find out. No. So he used it to get back home. Uh, there's a funny moment where Big Papa's asleep in his easy chair, and just when he wakes up, sort of has a bit of a flashback. Like, Elster, watch out for that dragon! I'll save you. Like, Archie, settle down. Like, Hiko took care of the dragon. Yeah, a little bit of a almost kind of a replay image in his mind when he woke up there. And also they explain how he just briefly one line of how he got his back in place that he hurt in the last book because Mr. Fluffles got his back in place. This was actually a request because I was actually telling my Big Papa about the book, him and Granny about my books and everything, and Big Papa was like, "Nah, like, oh no, man, don't be putting me on my with no, I don't want no broke back." So we got it fixed there. We immediately got the back fixed there. But yeah, that actually was something that happened to him. I don't know when and how or the details, but at one point, yeah, he had hurt his back and was actually like he's fine. Like I mean he's good now, but like he had to have some medical attention to get it back in place and everything. Yeah, 'cause I remember. I think he was in hospital for like about a week. Then we was going up during the summer, so yeah, there was that that evening. So then the next chapter, there's a meet and greet at Samuel's house around 7 o'clock. He of course him and his mom. He and his mom along and Brian's there. This is in Samuel's neighborhood, by the way, and there's some new neighbor, and some of the neighbors, of course, they're gathered because, like I say, it's a neighborhood meet and greet, and they're greeting some new neighbors. Now, Originally, I did have Hiko being invited to, join with them, him and his mom. But there's something I got playing with them. I'm gonna let y'all know. We're gonna get to that. There's something that him and his mom are doing as well. Uh, at this very moment. So they in so while they're mingling with everybody, we get introduced to a boy named Calvin Wayne, who will soon become Venom X, all dressed up in a suit and everything. Um, he's as we and he's actually been adopted by say a guy named by was it Marcus Wayne. He's the owner of the youth center near the airport on Pasadena Avenue. Uh, Originally, this is a reference to Hollywood Avenue and the airport, not too far from my house, but actually it's the Street Memorial, the Moretown Branch Library is near the airport. So, but I put youth center, but it has a library in there along with the cafe, with a cafe and stuff like that. Uh, Sort of like it's sort of a reference to like the youth center and Power Rangers a little bit there. Um, yeah, youth center over there, and the fact that it has a library in it is actually an ideal that I got from something Christina pointed out. We passed by a restaurant that had a library in it. We hadn't gone in it, but Christina noticed it when we was out. I think when we left the movie theater from seeing Garfield, so she's like, there's a restaurant with a library over there." So yep, so that's kind of a reference to that there. So yeah, he has a Marcus Wayne of his own youth center near the Rosa Airport with a little eating area, library, gym facility, all that good stuff. And say a lot of people, they mentioned how a lot of people love to hang out there and stuff. So yeah, there's probably going to be some scenes of seeing them hang out there now that especially we got now that it's been mentioned and everything. Then of course they meet up with two pretty girls, Angela Ann Pierre and Monet Chanel Pierre. They're both sisters in this. Originally in the Star Trek comics, Angela and Monet were just best friends. This was because when the first Star Trek comic book came out, Angela was introduced, and of course Samuel was like, "Hi," and when my friend Angela, who passed away, when she read it, because the character Angela was based off of her, off of Angela, and Angela, I told her, I mentioned that to her, and she even, and she got the book and everything. Even though she wasn't into superheroes and everything, she was really impressed by the book. And that was why she got it. Just being seeing what I was able to do with the book, and not only did she get a book, but then she was like, "Well, Gabe, how about I add a character to your story there?" And that's how Monet Chanel Pierre came into fray. By the time I was in the middle of because when I put the first book out, I already had because the funny story is I was actually making like this one big book at first, but then I split it up. I split up what I had into three books. So as soon as book one, as Star Trek Comic 1 came out, comic 2 and 3 came right after it there. So it was all so as I was kind of finishing up, putting the third one out, that's when Angela introduced, like, "Well, hey, how about adding Monet to your story?" So when I got ready to work on the fourth comic, that's when we added Monet in there as Angela's best friend. Um, so yeah, like I say, she wasn't. So it wasn't mentioned until after the first three books were put out. So now with Yumiko, be, learning from previous adaptation. In this case, we put her in as put them both in as twin sisters. This was because when I was trying to figure out how, we was trying to figure like, well, how is Monet designed? And Angela mentioned that she was, what she was a representation of what she wanted to be in real life. So I kind of thought that over. She gave me a little description on Monet, with a basic drawing of her. Then I came to, because it came to me like, well, why don't I just, yeah, I just ended up designing her, uh, sort of like an Angela lookalike there, because sometimes we do have people out there that's not related to us, but they look exactly like us. I got a couple of twins at Home Depot and Office Depot, that aren't related to me. So yeah, so then when I showed that to her, before making it officially in the book, to see how like the design, she was okay with that, with her looking, like Angela there. And another reason that I did that, and I'm glad glad she was okay with it, because both, just like Angela, she was kind of on the plus size there, sort of like Angela in real life. And yeah, I sort of wanted to mix it up a little bit with with different kinds of characters, not all looking the same, So yeah, kind of mixed it up a little bit, and one thing, like, Angela was really big on, especially on Instagram, was the beauty, like they say in Hairspray, big, blonde, and beautiful. You know, be beautiful. And they say looking good in all sizes. So that was kind of, and they say she kind of had that going on Instagram there. So figured, yeah, make a little nod to that there. Uh, of course, both of the girls are from France. And that was the case in the Star Trek comics. They were both from France. Both Angela and Monet. Bonjour, messieurs. and the and of course, after mentioning where they're from and everything, Paris, France, to be exact. Calvin mentions that he's from Ethiopia in Africa, which that was they do mention it. That was a place mentioned in the Ten Commandments movie. Remember when Moses was saying, here's the king of Ethiopia. Dun, 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 dun. The rest of Ethiopians tribe. Bellers! And they had this little brief performance where they came to hear these drums playing, where it sounded like that scene from The Lion King when Simba was following Rafiki. No stopping. Hurry up! No, wait, come on. Come on! Would you slow down? Yeah, that little scene there. Um, so of course, they get to talking and everything. Like Samuel, Brian, Angela, Monet, and Calvin. Five of them start chit chatting and everything, getting to know each other. And a little later, Flora shows up at the party, and of course she makes her wings vanish. Kind of when she notices all the people around that are around everything, and also makes her outfit that she's into a lovely red dress. The lovely red, and she comes up, and when she spots Samuel and Brian, uh, I need to go back and still check. I forgot to take Hiko out because he's not gonna be in this scene. But I will I'm about to let you guys know what's going on with Hiko. They still talking and everything. Um, Flora notices Angela kind of close to Samuel, and is like, "What?" And sort of a callback, like she mentioned, remember she said she didn't like how Peter and Wendy were a thing instead of him and Tinkerbell. It's like, yeah, that's starting to flash to her, and she uh, comes up there, and like Sam and the boy, and all of a sudden Samuel's like, Flora. she, and she instantly like, yes, I'm Samuel's girlfriend. Okay, a little quick there. So and so Samuel's like, well, can I speak with you alone, please? So they go in private because the party's outside. So they go inside the house. The excuse me. And once they're done, he's like, it's like, well, what are you doing here, Flora? He's like, I was hoping to go patrol the city with you after this event you mentioned. Say, but I see why it's so special. Looks like you and the fellas wanted to hang out with the pretty girls from your world. Say, you didn't think I would find out? Flora, it's not like that. It's a meet and greet to get to know our new neighbors. To know your new neighbors. Well, you seem really close with those two neighbors with those two French girl neighbors. Really close. So yeah, this so you he's like those are two of the new no, okay, yeah, okay, you mentioned that. Flora thinks that she's gonna get replaced uh by one of those girls end up being Samuel's girlfriend instead of her. Samuel actually mentions like Flora, I didn't even think we were at that level there of boyfriend girlfriend. He's like, and then Flora brings this up because I know some readers would be some readers, especially you guys on YouTube be probably ready to point this out. Flora's like, then what were you thinking when you kissed my hand and asked me out on a date when we first met? It's like, well, the kiss was just out of courtesy, and technically I said a nice dinner and a movie. I didn't say a date. And yes, that's true. Go back to book number 1. He said a nice dinner and a movie. He didn't specifically say date just there. I mean, now it's obvious somebody would translate it to that, but yeah, he verbally did not say date though. It could be translated that, but that's not what he said. And the kiss was a courtesy because he only kissed her hand there. And when I say courtesy, because I actually looked this up as I was writing this. Yeah, a kiss on a man kissing a lady's hand is a courtesy thing. Now, I know most time we look at that and the first thing we think, oh, they're gonna be a couple there, from our mental perspective, and sometimes even I would think that, but yeah, that is just a courtesy thing, especially like way back and stuff. Yeah, a lot of times they would greet another lady like that, not necessarily trying to flirt with the lady, but that was just a courtesy thing. Mr. Squarepants from SpongeBob did that to Mrs. Puff, like, thank you, Mrs. Puff. I want to say, as a member of we consider you a member of the SquarePants family. Of course, I think that courtesy may have went on a little too long. Mrs. Squarepants said, I think you made your point, dear. You wanna explain something, Mr. Squarepants? So anyway, we'll get off of that now. So yeah, he said the courtesy was just a courtesy. A nice dinner and a movie. That would be a way of us getting to know each other, and later, if we started like each other, we could possibly be girlfriend and boyfriend. As my mom and dad told me with a crush I had last year, a good relationship has to be taken slowly, not rushed. So this is actually a reference to something I've actually been told in real life. When I was during my senior year in high school, there was a girl that I actually did start talking to. It was not too long after. I was also working at Kroger after school, like I said, during my senior year, and a lot of time I would go over to Burger King for a lunch break. One day I go over there. It just so happened that it was like a few days before Valentine's Day, and I met this girl over there. Say, I'm just gonna call her Riri. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna use her real name. Just gonna say Riri. So I met Riri over here at Burger King, and we got to talking while I was while I was munching and everything, and then yeah, kind of jumped to that boyfriend girlfriend thing really quick. Then I was already because the very next day I was at Walmart getting a Valentine gift for her, even though I just met her. And yeah, we did go into the boyfriend girlfriend thing eventually. Shortly after that, she kind of went with it. We did go on a date to see a movie, and of course a nice dinner at Applebee's. Even got a kiss from her and everything. But then 2 months later, she had moved to Dakota, and not too long after that, so like I think we should just be friends. Yeah, so yeah, kind of that's a sort of an example of yeah, I call it that like yeah, sometimes that rushing into a relation, not always the yeah that doesn't all that doesn't tend to end well at times. Yeah, that's what I say. Take your time. You get in a relationship with somebody, or get to know them as friends first before you go to the boyfriend girlfriend thing. Okay. Yeah, and also back it up a little bit to the when Sammy said I didn't think we was at the boyfriend girlfriend level. Flora said, what were you thinking when you kissed my hand and asked me out on a date? So that also is a reference to another incident in my life where also now I don't know if this was before or after Riri. I'm not sure, but I was still in senior year, where there was this other girl. I'm just gonna call her Betty. So this other girl, Betty, I and not Betty White. To say, not Betty White, yeah. or the other lady whose name I can't pronounce, but she's sort of similar to Betty White, that Pee Wee was trying to flirt with. Hey, I'm at a date. Oh, you're much too kind, Pee Wee. Thank you. No pictures. So, anyway, Betty, not Betty White. No offense, but God, yeah, yeah, not, yeah, kind of a little above it there. But anyway, Betty, they, I was talking to her, I guess as friends, and there was this one day that she came in the store with some friends of hers, and I came out and we saw each other and spoke, like, hey, what's up, Betty? And I kind of chatted with her a little bit, and and for some reason I swear I didn't really think of this when I did this, because teenager, sometimes sometimes as teenagers we do tend to do stuff. Even I'm a victim of it. Excuse me just a second. Yeah. No. So yeah, I get it. I get the random teen stuff because I'm guilty of it too. I randomly just put my arm around her and start as I was talking. Now, first thing you probably would think is she probably might would, like, because if we're supposed to be just friends, she might like, you know, remove my arm or something like that. Because sometimes that would have, but no, she just like she just, she just okay. Then when we talked to each other later on the phone, first thing she asked me, "Well, why didn't you kiss me?" I don't know. Honestly, no, really, I said I didn't really think of that. Uh, I don't know what now as far as what the conversation went after that. Yeah, we're not gonna go. I'm not gonna go into where the conversation led after that. There, yeah. But Any, anyway, obviously obviously I think it shortly ended after that, but but yeah, like, I don't know. So, almost turned into Patrick from SpongeBob. Duh. so, so anyway, yeah, it's kind of a callback to that. So yeah, when Hiko mentions about a good relationship, take it slowly, not rushed. Even my dad has told me this. So does that mean we could be a couple later, Sammy? If things work out as good friends, that's a possibility. We're gonna find out where that. We're gonna find out about that more of that later in the series. We'll get more confirmation later as it goes on. Some of you probably, based upon what I told you about the Star Trek comic, maybe starting to put two and two together of that possibility. But yeah, well, it will be confirmed later in the series. Uh, Shortly after he's wrapping up the conversation, a crab-shaped spaceship hovers over the house. It's invisible at first until they fire a laser at the lake nearby because the house is near a lake, causing a small wave of water to splash everybody. Then it becomes visible, and the crooks beam themselves into the yard. So like, beam me up, Scotty. Yeah, crooks with a spaceship. Who knew? And they're all decked out in this in this armor that looks similar to a crab. Yeah, crab armor. So they look like these metallic crabs there, but on two legs. Matter of fact, a good example of what their armor looks like is in here. It looks. Don't you go out on me? Looks like that. Some similar. It'll look similar to that there. Just imagine that when you read it when this book comes out there. So yeah, looks pretty similar to that. But not only does AJ have this armor on, but even the other three, Howski and Monty, they introduced themselves. We actually now this was not in the Star Trek comic. AJ actually announces his actual name, Alton Jaggins, but people call him AJ the Master Shot. Yeah, so Alton Jaggins. Yes, so he's looking. They looking for Star Striker, and their tracking system has detected that he's in this area. Now, of course, they don't know his secret identity. Of course, as Samuel. So the tracking system is probably just like reading his like probably his DNA signature or something like that. Sort of like like they did in Beast Machines when they like Maximo signature detected. so uh so he says, now either someone here can offer to lead us to him, or just hope that he sees what's going on to meet his doom. However, for every hour that passes that this brat doesn't show up, we're gonna start blasting one of you one at a time. Starting with this one, and grabs Angela. Now, originally in the Star Trek books, I think it was the second Star Trek book. They didn't have all that armor on. They just had guns. They just had regular guns, and one of them held House held his up to Angela there, and so in this case they're these pincer blasters. Show how they this so here they're using these crab pincer blasters there. Yeah. Don't even think about it. So Samuel sees this going on out there, and it's like, Flora, we got. Like he tells Flora, he's like, we got to save the neighbors, and he has a plan. He tells Flora to poof because she's a fairy, obviously. So to poof the crooks, that and their ship down to the lake, far down the lake to the Blanchard Beach. There's actually a beach out here, not in Shreveport, but it's near Cross Lake, and I think it's in a city. it's in an area called Oil City actually. But here I just put it as Blanchard Beach, so a little difference there. And he shows Flora a picture of it. That way she can know where what it looks like. Sort of like how jumpers work, and when jumpers be teleporting, like Nightcrawler from X-Men. He said, I have to know where I'm going, otherwise I could teleport into the wall. So yeah, so he shows her what it looks like and everything, and then after poofing them down there, poof him down there to take care of them in his Star Trek costume, of course, uh, and also, if it's possible, see if we could put everybody to sleep and then wake them up after we take care of this. That way, I went back and put that in there because I thought about, okay, the crooks get poofed away. Samuel's down there taking care of things. They're gonna eventually wonder where Samuel's at. So that's why he has Flora to put them all to sleep. So yeah, they wake up by the time all this is taken care of, and that way, especially his mom, they won't be like, "Where's Samuel?" and she asked, if they should maybe just get Brownie, Hiko, or even Julie to help them. Um, and Samuel say, only as backup if necessary. But for right now, let's give them what they want: Star Striker. They do as the plan instructs. Goes down to the Blanchard Beach. Star Striker faces off with the crooks and everything. Say, you got some guts to show up here, kid. and however they have the little battle and everything. At first, it looks like they have the advantage because they seem like they end up grabbing a hold of Star Striker at one point. There's one Star throws like the shurikens at them after the smokescreen bombs, and they dodge the shuriken. They're like, "Nice try, but we got to jump on you." But turns out, what they thought was Star Striker was actually a sand decoy, and then Flora surprises them. Don't you know a kid and a fairy always wins against a bunch of knuckleheads? Sort of like how Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone say, "Don't you know a kid always wins against two idiots?" So, they're like, "A fairy?" And in their confusion, they start quickly, because their attention is on Flora when she says this, kind of trolling them a little bit. Star quickly charges them from behind, spinning his staff around, and slams AJ into the other crooks, knocking them into a lump pile on the ground. Then he's like, "I bet you weren't expecting that, Mr. AJ, the Master Shot. Or maybe now you should be called Master A Joke." and Flora even added a little extra humor with Flora magically making a drum set appear. So it makes sense that magic makes a drum set appear and a tape cassette player, and with that she plays a rim shot on the drums, followed by a recording of an audience laughter on the cassette tape player. Now in this day and time, that she probably could just play the whole thing on an iPhone there, but yep, this is the '90s, so obviously, yeah, since the iPhone wasn't invented yet, drum set and the tape cassette player. And yeah, so then they decide to. So then Star's like, "Well, we better wrap this up there, by getting rid of their spaceship and their battle armor." Flora wants to start with the ship. She tries to poof inside the ship in order to disable the ship, but its defense systems taser shock her, even damaging her wings. And one thing the crooks get up mentioning, "Your fairy girl's magic won't work against our ship. You probably don't know this, but it's made from Magitech." Magitech, which is something that was mentioned in book number 2, magical technology. And first thing is like, how do you guys have that kind of tech? Yeah, because also their armor is made from it too. They say, Star's like, "How do you guys have that kind of tech?" The way he asked them now almost made me think of Yugi in the Orichalco's arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! When you say, "How do these guys have that kind of power?" And like that's classified information, kid, not for you to know. Now, let's vaporize you. And all the cannons point at Star. So it's like, will Star Striker be able to? How will Star Striker get out of this? Will this be the end for him and Flora? Find out. Possible. Find out when the book is finished, and maybe possibly in another update. Yumeko! Same dream time, same dream channel. Like same back channel, same back time. Yep, so that's pretty much what I got so far with the first 5 chapters. Before we close this out, there is something that I do plan to go back and edit into those chapters. Um, it was something that Hiko would be doing, kind of a side plot there. Side plot, sort of like sometimes they have the main plot and the side plot. So a little what Hiko is doing. Originally, I was thinking that Hiko would be nearby the Blanchard area. Him and his family would be at a church during at a revival. Like a lot of churches have weekly revivals with guest pastors and stuff like that. And maybe like after the revival was like the benediction and stuff, they come out of the church and all of a sudden they see an explosion near the Blanchard Beach and something's going wrong, like something's wrong down there. But then I thought about this a little bit more because I thought about the fact, okay, the meet and greet starts at 7 o'clock p.m. Now, it's not. It's I'm just assuming that they're probably just gonna be out there like a couple of hours, at most. Probably, probably a couple hours at most, when it starts, because it is the summertime. So probably be getting dark anywhere between 8 and 9 o'clock, and they probably start wrapping it up a little bit once it gets close to 9 o'clock. Maybe a little after 9, but not too far. And as with revivals, trust me, I've grown up, born 1988. I've grown up with during my elementary years and even some of my middle school days, going with my folks to different, not only to the regular church services, but even stuff like Bible study, of course. I wasn't exactly in it, but they did. I've seen usher board meetings, deacon board meetings. Then of course there was we had VBS, which that still goes on, Vacation Bible School. Then we've had what was called revivals. A lot of times, like I mentioned before, having guest preachers and stuff like that. And those revivals, most of the time, always start at 7 o'clock. A lot of times, especially the ones I've been to back then, I don't know how they would be in this day and time, because I know things are a little different now with depending on what church you go to, and some of them may still be the same, but yeah, depending on what church you go to, because every church is a little different of how they do things. But the churches I've grown up going to back in the day, yeah, when you went to them revivals, you was gonna be having a bit of a guy. Yeah, you know how you go to a Friday night party, and you're there, you're there for a pretty good length of time. Yeah, you're gonna be there for a while. There, you're gonna about the latest that I think the latest that it would be of us getting out of there would be anywhere between 9 and 10 o'clock. There, anywhere between that time, it would be kind of wrapping up. Sometime right at 10 o'clock. There. Yeah, cause know how when especially sometimes you get the singing and they sometimes them singers be getting happy like yeah, glory, 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 hallelujah, since I laid my you get all happy and everything, and yeah, they be wanting to keep going and stuff for a little bit. Good times, yeah, but. So I thought about that. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, yeah, because yeah, maybe I might not want to chance that just yet. There probably might be some. There probably be some church. There's probably some church scenes. Just all depends on the story flow. But yeah, there probably would be some church scenes. Cause yeah, like I say, my characters they go to church and stuff. They yeah, don't worry, my church goers. So, um, but this is what I thought about instead for this story. Just like how Samuel's having a meet and greet, so would he go. This is why. And he goes meet and greet in his neighborhood. There's only at the moment there's only one new neighbor in Hiko's part of the neighborhood. Sorry, Naomi has moved in. So yeah, Naomi is gonna be the girl next door to Hiko. Yeah, so we that so sort of goes back to when it's like, oh, thinking about your little princess Naomi. So yeah, she's gonna become. I think she'd be the move from because um she's actually she's half Italian and half Japanese. Um, I need to double, and now it just came to my mind because there were two things that I had to, that which I texted one already that I had to ask Casey. I had meant to ask her in person, but I had forgot. So I text one to her. You'll find out ways. I ain't gonna say it here, but you'll find out though. But the other thing that I was wanting to ask her was out of Naomi's parents, her mom and dad, which one was Japanese and which one was Italian? Because I know, because yeah, one I think if I want to say, but I just wanted to make sure. But I think her dad was Italian and her mom was Japanese. Um, and story wise, I'm kind of since Julie and Tim them and Melina, and also Julius, all of them are Japanese, full Japanese. I was thinking maybe Naomi would, even though she's half Japanese, half Italian, she would actually know. She would have more knowledge of her Italian, of the Italian part of her. She would have more knowledge toward that there. So um, I'm thinking, yeah, that they probably would. That's where they probably would move from maybe when they got married. They went after getting married. After her parents got married, they lived in Italy, both parents, and that's where Naomi was born. So that's why she knows more about Italy than Japan at the moment. So yeah, so that's what's going to be going on the side with that, and then of course they probably would end up possibly find out what's going on with Samuel and rush down there, and end up finding out about Samuel getting his powers and stuff. So yep, so there's gonna be that. That's pretty much all I got for this update. It's boy, it's a pretty big one, almost like my Garfield video there. But anyway, at least I got the point out. So hope y'all like that and everything, and yeah, definitely like, share, subscribe. Special thanks. Excuse me. Excuse me. So, so share, and subscribe, everyone, and also here's with some super thanks, and make sure you get our available books. They're pretty cool and everything. Get y'all book. It's only like $7 there. Yeah, $7. Yeah, that's right, Scoob. Oh, and I'll also be able to also hit us on that Patreon, like just like your boy EJ the Supreme. EJ the Supreme. Yep, and be sure to check out his YouTube channel, and also check out Casey's YouTube channel. They got some good stuff there. They especially on the they got like the workout stuff with EJ. Like little exercise and stuff, and Also, Casey's channel, they got some interesting vlogs and stuff. Yeah, interesting vlogs. So, see, never a dull moment in these videos. I change just like my meals, just like the meals that me and Christina eat. I change up how I present stuff there just to keep you on your toes. You don't know how I might say something in the next video. So yeah, as Patrick said, I like to mix it up. Keep you on your toes. Now I'm just gonna go walk off this cliff. Patrick! Oh, yep, do all that, and we will definitely see y'all in the next video. Well, like, take care, everybody. Yeah, take care. Ruby doo. Yeah, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids and that dog. Scooby Dooby Dooby Doo. Da 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 da.